You are now listening to
the Primal Armor Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Home Gym Con. This is the first conference dedicated to home gym fanatics. At this event, you'll have the opportunity to get your hands on hundreds of pieces of equipment, get exclusive discounts on items for your gym, learn from industry experts, and much more. The conference starts on April 14th in French Lick, Indiana. Visit homegymcon.com to order your tickets and use the code PRIMAL to save 10% on your purchase. Using that code also donates 10% of the proceeds to Huntington's disease research. Join myself, as well as all of your other favorite brands and sponsors this April by going to homegymcon.com today and ordering your tickets using our special code. Welcome back to episode 86 of the Primal Armor Podcast. This week, I want to dive into some diet and nutrition tips, specifically focusing on fat. Fat gets stored in the body when we consume too many calories, and then we aren't burning off as many as we're taking in. There are two different types of fat within the body, and there's subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. Subcutaneous fat is the type that most people worry about and they hate, and that's the one that everyone tries to focus on for their health. That's the fat that's stored right underneath the skin, and that's what you can squeeze or pinch on your arms, stomach, legs, and everywhere else you can think of. This is also the body fat people think of when they're thinking about their body fat percentage. Subcutaneous fat is normal and healthy to have in the body in small amounts, but too much of it leads to imbalanced hormones and sensitivity. Visceral fat is the one that not too many people know about, focus on, or worry about, but it's one of the most dangerous aspects to our health. This is the fat that's stored deeper within our body, inside our abdomen, and around all of your major organs, like the liver, kidneys, intestines, and heart. And this is what causes you to have that apple shape in your body and gives people that super bloated belly look. High visceral fat levels increase your risk for diabetes, heart disease, stroke, coronary artery disease, and many different types of cancers. And it does this by affecting your hormones in a number of ways. And it causes an extremely high level of inflammation in the body. And this causes your body to release hormones that contribute to insulin resistance, which is why it increases the risk for diabetes. It also increases hormones that promote the growth of cancer cells, which makes it harder for your immune system to find and destroy these cells. Now think about how visceral fat surrounds all of your major organs in the body. And the more and more that collects within the body, the more and more it fills those inner body cavities. And soon, it'll build up so much that it'll begin to put pressure against your liver, kidneys, stomach, intestines, and heart. Now your organs, especially your heart, will have to work twice as hard to push against this visceral fat. And all that extra stress is what causes things like heart disease and coronary artery disease, because the heart and other major organs aren't designed to have to work that hard. And this is why visceral fat is so dangerous to have. It causes your body to work way harder than it needs to. And while subcutaneous fat also adds weight on the joints, can affect your hormones, and just looks terrible on the body, it pales in comparison to visceral fat. But fortunately, visceral fat can be reduced through regular diet and exercise, and usually responds very well when compared to subcutaneous fat. Think about how that last few pounds is always the hardest to lose. That's because that's that subcutaneous fat that I was talking about earlier, and that's okay to have. But the body doesn't like and wants to get rid of visceral fat stores. So those are some of the first to go when you start living a healthier lifestyle. Things like cutting out processed foods, eating more protein at each meal, lifting weights regularly, cooking more whole foods, staying away from drinking your calories, walking outside more. These are all things that help stave off excess fat stores within the body and keep you as healthy as you can be. Did a lot of these examples sound familiar? That's because in the last handful of months, those are all topics that we've been covering. And that's because of how important each one is on what it can do for your health. So don't let excess fat take control of your life and control of your body. Leading an unhealthy lifestyle and building up fat stores, especially visceral fat, is suffocating your body from the inside out. You wouldn't want to feel that type of feeling on your throat when you're trying to breathe. So don't be doing that same thing to your major organs in the body. The longer you go with neglecting this topic, the harder and harder your organs will have to work and the more damage to them that will be done. But like I always try to preach, you only get one body and one chance to take care of it. Don't let it passively suffocate on the inside because of your diet and exercise. It's one of the easier things to control, and not many people know the dangers of it. But now that we know the difference between subcutaneous fat and visceral fat, and know some of the easiest ways to combat it, it's time to take action. feel free to go back and listen to our previous episodes to help get a refresher or to learn how to start turning your lifestyle around. Because no one wants to be carrying excess fat with them every day, especially heading into the warmer months that are going to be here way before we know it. There's no more time for excuses. It's time to make this change right now.
This episode is sponsored by Executive Fit LLC. They build custom deadlift platforms, custom barbell storage pieces, and make indoor and outdoor signage for your home or corporate gym. Every platform that pairs with a rack is customized to that specific rack, so everything fits nice and clean. And they ship nationwide. Each platform has a logo applied in a way that makes it impossible to peel up from wear and tear. They even make custom nameplates for your squat rack. Visit executivefitllc.com to request a quote and see what's available on their store. That's executivefitllc.com to upgrade your deadlift game today.
I just want to thank you for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you back here again next week.